Hello and welcome to this edition of the Power Circuit program, brought to you by the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN. This utility company will continue to keep you informed about its mandate of managing the national electricity grid and wheeling bulk power nationwide. Federal government installs solar power plant in Cross River community. Report says system disturbances have dropped to barest minimum as electricity grid rises. In the interview segment, the Regional Transmission Manager, Abuja Region of TCN, Engineer Ali Ibrahim Sharifai, speaks on the status of power transmission projects that are being implemented by TCN in the region. I am Amara Agugoesi. Please stay with the Power Circuit. The federal government has installed a 60 kilowatts peak solar hybrid mini grid power plant in Okanga, Bansi community of Cross River State.
Speaking at the commissioning of the plants at the community in Akom local government area of Cross River State, the Minister of State for Power, Mr. Godijedi Agba, assured Nigerians of sustainable and steady power supply. Agba, who tasked the community to take advantage of the intervention, said the mandate of the federal government through the Rural Electrification Agency, REA, is to provide quality and sustainable energy to Nigerians. He said the government's solar electricity drive in rural communities is aimed at creating jobs and improving local socioeconomic status of Nigerians. The minister stated that this will also boost small-scale businesses and a lot of entrepreneurs will be empowered to do business with ease. He, however, urged the people of Okange Nkpaisi community to protect the plant from vandalism and theft while paying their electricity bills promptly.
We owe a duty to ourselves and to him to maintain this community, this facility. I'm glad at what I heard today that the community has set up its group to take care of it. If we take care of it, more will come.
The Chief Executive Officer of REA, Mr. Ahmad Salhiju Ahmad, who was represented by the Executive Director of Technical Services at REA, Mr. Bakar Saju, urged the community to protect the infrastructure from theft. Residents of the community shared their thoughts on the renewable energy projects.
As a village already we have artisans like hairdressers, seamstresses, and all of it. But this light that has come will boost the economic productivity of this area.
Federal government, we thank you for this light you gave us.
Highlights of the events include goodwill messages from key dignitaries and an entertainment session before the Minister of State commissioned the power facility for use.
I, Godijedi Agba, commission this project and for the use of humanity. Amen.
A report from the Independent System Operations ISO shows Nigeria's power sector system disturbances have dropped to the barest minimum, with just 4 incidents occurring in 2020, out of which one was a partial disturbance. Also, one of the 2 incidents recorded this year was also partial. The Power Circuit in this edition presents an analysis of this report, which also indicated that the speed at which the ISO restores the system when a disturbance occurs has improved significantly.
4 incidents of system disturbances last year was the lowest recorded in a year within the last 12 years in the power sector, according to ISO, a section of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, which manages Nigeria's power grid. According to the statistics, between 2009 and 2021, the country recorded 254 cases of system disturbance. Analysis of the incident records show that 163 total and partial system collapses were recorded from 2009 to 2014, while the system recorded 91 others from 2015 to 2021. The record of only 4 collapses in 2020 marked a new milestone in grid stability in the power sector. This was less than half of the 10 recorded in 2019. 2020 was a year that industrial experts expected higher figures due to the COVID-19 lockdown that restricted movements, which affected the global economy, among others. So far in 2021, only one full and one partial system disturbance have been recorded, with the latest occurring last week. The grid was recovered shortly after. According to a statement by the General Manager Public Affairs at TCN, Mrs. Ndidimba, TCN restored bulk power to all the 330 kV transmission stations across the entire grid shortly after the incident. The 132 kV transmission substations were then energized to evacuate generated power to the distribution load centers on a 33 kV network level. There has been considerable improvement in recovery time of the nation's grid after a disturbance. A comparative analysis of previous occurrences showed this. Another key milestone of TCN and the other actors on the national grid is the recording of multiple all-time peak power generation. The multiple all-time peak recorded on the national grid between 2020 and the first quarter of 2021 is far much more than has been recorded in the past 10 years. According to the records, peak power generation was only recorded once in a year, with some years having no record of any increase in power generation, transmission and distribution capacity on the national grid. However, in 2020, there were 4 all-time peak records, and 3 more have been recorded so far this year. The all-time peak generation rose from 5,377.8 megawatts on August 1 and had reached 5,520.40 megawatts by October 30, 2020. By early 2021, the grid moved to 5,552 megawatts, recorded on January 6, and rose to 5,801.60 megawatts in the first quarter of this year. The acting managing director of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, Engineer Sule Ahmed Abdulaziz, also confirmed that another milestone was recorded on February 26, 2021, when the grid successfully evacuated 116,891.40 megawatt-hour of electricity supply to consumers by the 11 discos. This is 769 megawatt-hour higher than the previous value of 116,121.42 megawatt-hour recorded on February 26, 2021. According to Engineer Abdulaziz, the commitment of TCN has reduced transmission grid disturbances to the barest minimum as grid capacity has also increased. He said TCN has installed several transformers, rehabilitated several substations, and upgraded power transmission lines with several projects ongoing.
Effective grid management that has led to the multiple all-time peak generation record on the following days within the last 6 months. We have 5,377.8 megawatts on pace of August 2020 at 20.30 hours. We have 5,420.30 megawatts on August 19 at 19:15 hours. We have 5,459.50 megawatts. It was achieved on 28th of October 2020 at 20:15 hours. And 2 days later, on the 30th of October 2020, the Nigerian network recorded yet another all-time peak of 5,520.4 megawatts. And all this was seamlessly transmitted to the end users by the discos. Between January 2021 and April 2021, the grid has also recorded a tremendous improvement with 4 all-time peaks, the latest being 5,801 megawatts. That was achieved on 1st March 2021. And the megawatt per hour is 119,471.15 megawatts per hour.
Commenting on this, the Minister of Power, Engineer Salim Mamman, said the decline in system collapses was one of the focal points of the minister in ensuring that complaints of epileptic power supply to consumers are tackled. The minister, who spoke through his special assistant on media and communications, Mr. Aaron Atimus said, gradually Nigerians will be seeing the results of what is being done in the control rooms and substations to improve power supply. There are still hitches, but government is doing its best to improve the power sector.
The power circuit continues after this break.
Do not build under transmission power lines for your safety and health. Electricity power lines and substations, either for power transmission or power distribution services, are extremely dangerous when exposed to direct human contact. These power lines and substations transmit electricity that lights up our homes and offices, power our computers, TVs, and refrigerators. On the other hand, the same electricity when exposed is extremely dangerous. It can shock, electrocute, and kill anyone on its way. That is why everyone must adopt safety measures whenever we use or are close to electricity facilities like power lines or substation or transformers. For the safety of the people and animals, governments all over the world have approved way leave or right-of-way of 50 meters for 330 kV power lines and 30 meters for 132 kV power lines, and for 33 kV lines the way leave is 15 meters. People are not expected to be found within this way leave or right-of-way for safety reasons. The lines can suddenly cut and fall to the ground with very disastrous consequences such as fire and electrocution of anybody and destruction of anything, be it vehicle, houses or vegetation on its line. It has also been established that power lines and substation emit electromagnetic fields, EMF, which is dangerous to human health. The World Health Organization, WHO, has warned that people who spend long hours under or close high-tension lines stand the risk of being affected by EMF and be vulnerable to cancer, leukemia in children, miscarriages among pregnant women, and other terrible diseases. It is therefore advisable not to build any structure or operate any business under or near any electricity high-tension lines or substations. TCN wants you to stay alive, stay safe, stay healthy, avoid power lines. This message is from the Management of Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN.
This is the power circuit. The Regional Transmission Manager, Abuja Region of TCN, Engineer Ali Ibrahim Sharifai, features in today's edition. Engineer Sharifai speaks on the various power transmission projects and grid operations in the region, serving Nigeria's capital city and some states. Hear him speak.
For how long have you headed this region?
I was in Bauchi before I was redeployed to Abuja. I was acting GM at Bauchi for almost 2.5 years. So in July 2020, I was deployed to Abuja region. So I came here July 2020.
How many sub-regions and work centers are in this region?
In the Abuja region, we have 3 sub-regions, namely Abuja sub-region, Ajaukta sub-region, and Gwagwalada. So we don't have any work centers at now. The substations, we are having on 330, 132 kV, we have 4 numbers of stations, while on 132, 33, we are having 14 numbers.
What is the bulk power wheeling capacity of this region?
Our bulk power capacity on 330, our 330, 132, we have a bulk wheeling capacity of 1,386 MVA. While on 132, that is 132 33 kV, we are having a wheeling capacity of 1,917.5 MVA in Abuja region. And our coverage areas are Abuja, Nasarawa State, Kogi State, part of Edo, part of Niger, and part of Kaduna State.
What major projects have TCN engineers executed in this region?
The one that we did of recent is the Kubwa installation of 1/60 MVA to replace the faulty one at Kubwa. And then we did some rehabilitations, which I can call as a major, there is one by 162 MVA transformer at Ajakuta Mains, which has been out for long. It has been rehabilitated. It is 330 kV circuit breaker has been replaced, and associated equipments, the switch gears are rehabilitated. So we are about carrying the final testing. We have done the pre-commissioning and we will soon commission the transformer.
What is the status of ongoing projects in the Abuja region?
We have a lot of projects that are ongoing. Well, let me start with the ones at Ajakuta, which are almost finishing. At Ajakuta, we have Obajana substation, which is a construction of 2 by 150 MVA, 330 132 kV, and then 2 by 60 MVA, 132 33 kV. While at Aimba, we are also constructing a substation of 2 by 60 MVA, 132 33 kV. Likewise, at Kaba, we are constructing a substation of 2 by 60 MVA, 132 33 kV. This substation I'm talking about, they are almost completed in Kogi State. If not like Obajana, the line that is still having some right-of-way problems which are supposed to, overcome before we now finish the erection of the line. If not, Obajana will be energized. Likewise, Aimba is almost about 70-80% also. Kaba is almost 60-70%, the substation. So while here in Abuja, there are some of the projects which we call Abuja feeding scheme. They are executed by the PMU units, that's the project monitoring units. So these projects, we have a lot of them in Abuja, but most of them, they have kicked up the civil work of the equipments that will be erected, almost finished. Some are 90%, 80, 70. Some of the project of this, we have a station, a substation at, we call it New Apo FIBA, where we are going to construct a 2 by 150 MVA, 330 132 kV, and 2 by 60 MVA, 132 33 kV. Also, there is a Kuje substation. At Kuje substation, we are constructing a 3 by 60 MVA, 132 33 kV. At Lugbe, we are constructing 2 by 150 MVA, 330 132, and 3 by 60 MVA, 132 33 kV. Likewise, there is one we used to call, I think they call it Wumba. Wumba, there is a 2 by 60 MVA substation, of which there are 132 kV lines that will be constructed from the new Apo to such station, and also there are some lines that will be constructed from new Apo to old Apo.
There have been cases of vandalism in the region. Can you give an insight into this?
Vandalism, honestly, when I came, we had it even more. There were so many such cases. On 330 kV, I think we had 3 number vandalizations at the time I was around. We had 2 on Katampe Shororo Katampe line. We had 2 vandalism at that time of 2 span each, of which our able engineers in-house that did it under 48 hours for them to restore the circuit. Likewise, on Gwagwalada Apo, which is powered by 132 kV, that one also our able engineers restored the line. And on 132, we had almost about 3 vandalism also. We had on Mina Suleja, Kubwa Suleja, and then Apo Kukwaba. All they were restored. those lines. But for us to tackle it, what we did was to constitute a team which involves the NSCDC, the linesmen that are our staff, and then the vigilante. Always they are patrolling the line 24/7. So for the past 3 months, we are having it cool now. The vandalism has reduced.
There have been observed cases of encroachment of power transmission line route. What is TCN doing about this?
Most of the new communities that are cropping up, you only see people building under our lines, even without the state or the owners of the lands being given the grant to those people. They will say the owner of the farm is the one that allocates lands to people. But like here in Abuja region, as I come, when I discuss with my team of the sub-regional managers, so what we normally do, each time our linesmen are carrying out their maintenance of the line, anywhere we see such things, we try and communicate, and at the same time we make explanation to those people as soon as possible for them to know that that place is a no-go area due to the dangers that is on that route. So some of them, they used to comply, and some they will say no, they got this thing. We told them there is no way they can get grants or C of O's that will be under our line, because those right of ways are ours. So where such areas that we are also having some cases of settlement, yeah, we do. Our wayleave are there checking the community, so that as soon as we compensate the lines that are going to be erected, constructed, will soon be, in the cakewalk.
You just heard from the Regional Transmission Manager, Abuja Region of TCN, Engineer Ali Ibrahim Sharifai, on the operation of the Abuja region. Expect more informative interviews as you keep a date with us on these segments of the Power Circuit. As we come to the end of this edition, get the top stories again. Federal government installs solar power plant in Cross River community. Report says system disturbances have dropped to barest minimum as electricity grid rises. In the interview segment, the Regional Transmission Manager, Abuja Region of TCN, Engineer Ali Ibrahim Sharifai, highlighted the regional grid operations and the status of power transmission projects that are being implemented by TCN in the region. Thank you for staying with us always on the Power Circuit program of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN. This episode and all others are available on the TCN YouTube channel. You can keep your views and comments coming on our platforms to support TCN in continually realizing its mandate. TCN wishes you the best always, and remember to adhere to the coronavirus prevention protocol. I am Amara Agogoisi. See you next week.